Thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. Today's the 13th of June, 2017. So actually right around now, I was on the internet. I decided to get on the internet. I was way away from Scientology, away from Office of Special Affairs. And that's all. I'm going to put an escape video in here so you can kind of hear the whole story. I'll put a link on it if you're interested. I made a 10-part series in 2010 because enough people had asked me, like, what happened, how'd you get in, and so how did you wake up, and how'd you get out. And so I made a 10-part series that's really cool. It's a really cool thing, just not by me, but just because it's an amazing thing and the people that came into my life and helped me and stuff like that. But a major person in it was Mr. Andreas Heldal-Lund, who lives in Norway and was never in the Church of Scientology. Back then, they just had alt-religion Scientology. And I ended up on it, not posting on it for the Office of Special Affairs, as people think, but just as myself. I'd already had a huge upset with them, which is in my escape story. And also on my Tori Magoo 44, you can find all kinds of videos about it. But point being, I wasn't posting for them. I opened up their phony accounts. I never posted a thing on the internet for them, ever. But I finally got kind of them out of my life, and I decided, okay, I'm just going to go on here. And I was too afraid to look and read, which I know sounds insane, but that's what they do. They make you so frightened of the internet because they know if you look on the internet, you're going to find out the facts. You're going to meet people like now me or Andreas or whoever, and those people can help you wake up and leave because it's a con. That's all Scientology is. It is a giant con. It is a mafia-like organization, a business pretending, hiding behind the curtain of religion. That's what Scientology is. And so Andreas and I met in June of 17 years ago, and today he sent me these flowers with this wonderful little card on it, with my 1,010 Viking hugs. And I can't tell. And also look at the cute little bear that he sent with him. And Daniel, thank you guys so much. That's so sweet. You have no idea how much it means to me. You have no idea. I could never tell you how much it meant to me. I've said it a million times on the internet. But Andreas, I mean, it just shows how you never know who you could help. You never know. I mean, I was so in it. I was a true believer. I really thought I was in it for the rest of my life. But then I got to the top, the second to the top. OT8 is the top. OT7 is their second to the top level, if you think of a triangle. And I was on that for 7 years, and it didn't work, ever. It didn't work for one day. And it was awful for me. And I kept asking David Miscavige to let me off, and he wouldn't. They just kept saying, okay, continue, okay, continue. It was awful, awful time of my life. So I started reading self-improvement books. And you know what? I started waking up. I mean, I wasn't reading them to wake up. I was reading them to handle these massive headaches I had. But I ended up, a friend of mine spotted what was causing that, which had to do with female things at my age. And there's a great book called The Silent Passage. If you're a woman and you're in your 40s even, read it. It's a great book. But anyway, point being, I got on the internet, made all these crazy posts, ran into Andreas. Andreas started talking to me and was so kind to me, and in just a very, very short time, that's why I call it the Truman Show. I mean, it just cracked open and I could see the light. I was ready. That was it. So it was a fantastic time, but this was the beginning of it in June. I woke up, I think, July 19th and escaped out July 21st or 20th or something like that, but it was like all fast. It was like 4 weeks. I made 4,000 posts in 4 weeks, met Andreas, and, woke up and escaped out. And it was a lot to lose. Like people say, really? That's an awful lot. And it was an awful lot. It's like I was married for 27 years happily. I knew I was going to lose my husband. And I said to Andreas, I don't know if my soul can take this. And he said to me, he wrote me back and he said, I'm sorry for your pain. And I'm crying reading your emails, but I've got to ask you this one question. What kind of friends could those be if they're going to leave you because you changed your mind? And that just blew everything open. I realized it's true. They only are interested in you as long as you're jumping in their hoops their way. So with Andreas, I finally woke up. He connected me up to Stacy and Bob, who were in Clearwater, Florida. They chased me across the country, which honestly, if they had not chased me across the country, I don't know if I would have woken up, because I probably would have thought, they're right. They don't do those things that, because the critics all say that's what they do, and they don't do that to me. No, I don't think you're right. That doesn't happen, but they do. And as soon as I went to take the van to the airport to go to Clearwater, they were there, and they'd canceled the van, and I thought, who canceled the van? And they said someone called anonymously and canceled it. Anyway, long story short, that's all in the escape. But I got out to LAX, across the country. Tampa police get me out of the Tampa airport, and the rest is all history. They thought it was going to be quick and easy. So here's me. These are just some fun things. My little commendation from the Church of Scientology, which is L. Ron Hubbard quoted, blah, 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 right? That was in 1991. Okay, December of 91, they gave me this commendation. All right. This is What is Scientology? I was in What is Scientology, the big What is Scientology, and they thought, it's too big. They'd send it out to a ton of people. Nobody wanted it because it was real thick. So they made this little skinny one. They said, we're going to send this everywhere. Senators, congressmen, governors, everybody, celebrities. What Scientologists say about Scientology. And so they just took my win from What is Scientology and a new photograph from 2000. Can you see it? There I am. That's me. It's me in my Scientology pose. So I only got this book because we were with Bob Stacy and I and Mark Bunker in Boston, and they were going to pick it. And I said, I'm not going to pick it. This was 2 weeks after I left. I said, I'm not going to pick it. So I said, well, I'll just go in and talk to him. And so I walk in, and one of my friends is there in reception. She goes, Tori, you're in the book. And I have like this Homer Simpson moment going, I know. Do you think I could get a copy of it? She goes, sure, take it. And I think this is going to be the first and last copy of this book. And it was. It was just like, whoosh, gone because of me. All right, so soon after I get out, the amazing Tony Ortega from New Times LA, that's where he was. See, it says Tony Ortega, Sympathy for the Devil. And that's, I don't know if you, Tori Bazazian was a veteran Scientologist who loved going after church critics until she met the darkest, what does it say? Met the darkest detraction of all. Andreas. All right, so then they declare me suppressive. There's my SP declare Pete Griffith. You can have a shot. Then they put me on Religious Freedom Watch and passed this around to my entire neighborhood. But luckily, my next door neighbor was an ex-Jehovah's Witness, and he went around and got a huge stack of those. And then I made a video about it because I knew they'd do it again if I didn't. So I did. And then this is my 25-step program that they did in 2006 against me with the goal to muzzle Tori. Epic fail. So anyway, that's just a little bit of what's happened. I can't thank Andreas enough. You have been the light of my life. You've helped me a ton for 17 years. And today, you sent me this wonderful bouquet of flowers. I love you. Thank you so much. And thank all of you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week and a wonderful rest of the month. All right. I love you. Thank you to everyone who helped me. Bye-bye.